Yes, welcome back to Leading Our Own Way. I'm excited for today's guest. Today's guest is a good friend of mine back from the UK, Manchester, UK. She is Miss Lauren Thomas-Johnson, a former Great Britain basketball player and one of the best female basketball players I've ever seen play the game. She played at Marquette University in Wisconsin. She played basketball in Turkey, Iceland, Switzerland, amongst many other places around the world. And she is a person that's been through ups and downs through the game of basketball and created some amazing things in her professional life too. She's creating a safe space for women to be authentic, be themselves, feel vulnerable and safe in their bodies. Just an incredible story. She's so amazing at being open herself, and I know you guys are going to get a lot of learnings from her today. So stay tuned, watch and listen to the intro, and we'll be right back with Miss Lauren Thomas-Johnson. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Lauren Thomas-Johnson, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining me on Leading Our Own Way.
Thanks for having me.
No, the honor is all mine. I probably should tell people who are going to be listening to this because they're going to actually know the second guest of Leading Our Own Way, which was a few months ago. Your father, Mr. Donald Johnson.
Yes, the famous Don Johnson. They're probably looking, thinking, she looks very familiar. Because we basically have the same face.
Yes, you so do. Well, your two lovely faces have been in my life since I was around 11, 12 years old. For those who are listening, Lauren and I have known each other since. Lauren was about 8 and I was about 11. There's probably maybe a 2.5 year, 3 year difference. And I that face of yours is still very crystal clear. And we know each other from the basketball world. And we're going to heavily talk about basketball today, aren't we, Lauren?
Yes.
And the journey you've been on, not only in the basketball world, but in the personal world. A mother and the wonderful things you're doing. But before we go down that road, tell everybody like who you are, what you do in life right now.
So, what do I do in life right now? I feel like I do everything.
You do, I see it.
Said all mums everywhere. So I, like Andy said, I am Lauren Thomas-Johnson. I always want to say ex-professional basketball player, but I'm actually still playing. So I like retire and then come back and then have a baby and then come back to basketball. So I'm currently a professional basketball player, stroke business owner, stroke fitness coach, stroke mom, stroke entrepreneur, stroke whatever else I do. I'm a cleaner, I'm a cook, I'm the snack lady of the house. Yeah, so I'm all those things.
You certainly are. And I mean, that will all come very clear. But we'll obviously digest that as we get into the episode. But how are you? We always tend to start on Leading Our Own Way. The pattern is that I tend to start with where you're at physically and, mentally. How are you looking after yourself at the moment then?
How am I looking after myself? If I'm absolutely honest, as I had a baby, Rain's about 1.5 now, and I would say that I wasn't looking after myself, and I think all mums can say this. The first 2 years is just like, ugh, especially after the second child. But now I am just trying to pour back into me. So when I say that, I mean like I started running, and I did it as a bit of a joke online, like run a girl.
I saw that.
And I posted it on Instagram, and it's actually now something that has become crucial for my mental health. Like I love going for runs because it's something that has just been really helping me. So yeah, I am running. I obviously coach my fitness classes every day online, which is also a massive help for me mentally. And sleep, because I am sleep deprived as the mom of a 20-month-old. I am, yeah, so that I'm trying to like go to bed earlier and have a nap if I can, which I've not had a nap in about 7 years, but yeah, if I can have a little 20 minutes. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now to look after myself. But if anything, it just be working out. That is my main thing, because that is what keeps me mentally sane.
You know, I think sleep is I talk about sleep every day. As an educator, I think we need to actually teach sleep to children. And I don't mean just falling asleep and that's it. But I think we need to teach people really what happens in our bodies, in our minds, so people can actually be conscious of the importance of sleep. Because I was actually saying to somebody today, you know, if you think about what everything humans have conquered in terms of evolution, trying to change, you know, inventing the chair to be more comfortable and things like that. One thing humans have never been able to conquer. We've conquered food because we're creating food ourselves now without having to go and get plants necessarily. We make ultra processed foods. I mean, that's a different argument for a different day. But I mean, we could go down that road if we wanted to. But one thing humans have never been able to conquer is sleep. And I don't think, I mean, we're changing it by shifts. We're affecting people with shift patterns. You know, we go back to our ancestors. That never happened. Everyone slept in the dark. You know, I'm learning that from this book here, is, you know, by Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep. When do you think you started to really make a conscious effort? Was it being a parent that made you think about sleep more, or when did that really change for you?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was becoming a parent and getting older. I think it's like that joke when you have kids and you're like, they just don't value sleep. Kids don't value sleep at all, and then they get older and they'll one day wish they had that nap that you were telling them to have. And I think that's just what it was. I just got older and realized how important sleep was, just for everything, for my daily function, for work. I'm just a better person when I've had a better amount of sleep. And I think now for me, even fitness wise, and I think after having the baby and not sleeping and having my own fitness goals, and this time around with Rain, it wasn't necessarily like losing weight, it was just building the muscle strength back. But that's not going to happen if I'm not having the right amount of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I just think it's just, yeah, getting older, and I think becoming a fitness coach and getting more into the scientific side of the fitness for me.
100%.
Rather than, yeah.
And do you think, you mentioned something then, for me, sleep was important because I always used to go to bed late and get up early, you know, last minute, and I was groggy all day. But I only realized it when I went through a really, really depressive stage of my life. Do you think people have to go through, I suppose, what's the right word, darkness, to understand the true path in which they need to go down on going forward? Do they have to hit a crisis point or rock bottom, if you will?
Not necessarily. I don't think that. I think obviously, because I don't think some people hit that rock bottom and they don't always come out smelling of unicorns and roses. I personally think it's just personal development and personal growth. Is when you start to analyze things and look at things a lot different than you used to. So, for example, you said, you know, you used to go to bed late and wake up at the last possible minute and then be groggy all day. I think it takes, and obviously you said in that moment, you know, it took for a dark place, but it could also just take someone to be like, right, sit down and have a conversation with themselves, like, right, every single day is a struggle. How are we going to make this not be a struggle? Like, life is a struggle right now. How can we make it so it's a bit better? So I don't necessarily think that we always have to hit rock bottom to learn a lesson. For me personally, I just think it comes with personal growth.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely fair point.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, no, totally. You know, and that's the reason why this podcast was created, because I want people to learn those type of little moments. And you've always been a very, very confident person, but it hasn't always been easy for you. And we will go down that road. But tell everybody what you're doing now professionally then, because you've mentioned your exercise classes, but tell everybody about, I don't want to say the name, I'll let you bring that on.
So I have an online fitness subscription called Snatch By Lo. And it was like, I want to say, everyone says it started in COVID, but for me, it started a really long time before that. Like, if anything, it was birthed way before that. And if anything, it was like raised in COVID. So after I had my firstborn, Hendrix, I suffered really, really bad postnatal depression, and I really struggled with just daily life function after Hendrix. It wasn't, because I think people, when they think of postnatal depression, it is, your relationship with your baby. And it's not always that. It's just literally sometimes can just be a chemical imbalance in your head where them baby blues are just not, you can't shake them. It wasn't I had a great relationship with my baby, and I think that was also a part of my depression. I didn't want him to go anywhere. I didn't trust anyone with him. I didn't want to leave him, even with his dad, and his dad's an amazing dad. But I was like, nope, you can't do it right. I do it right. And then I was sending myself into this crazy spiral. And I guess I started to write a blog about it. I basically went to the doctor. The doctor said, you've got postnatal depression. Here's some medicine. And I was like, whoa, never been a big medicine taker. I don't even take a paracetamol if I'm got a headache. So I was like, don't really want to take pills. And again, that's no judgment on anyone that has, because I've got friends that they've taken the pills and that was their journey and that's what they needed to do. I think for my personal journey, it just wasn't. I don't know if it's the athlete in me. I can beat this without it. Like, I can do it. I can get myself out of it. So I thought, let me maybe start writing a blog and just blogging and trying to blog like the real. Because I remember Chrissy Teigen had gone through and that's John Legend's wife. She'd gone through something about motherhood. And I remember she wrote about it online, but she still wrote really kind of hairy-fairy about it. And I was like, well, no, because let's just call a spade a spade. Sometimes motherhood is hell. And it's not, you're not a bad mum for saying that. And it's difficult. Like, I think when you become a parent, it's like you have to love every single moment of it, because if you're not, you're ungrateful, because there's so many people out there that can't do it. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But it also, why now does that take away from my experience of sometimes saying it's hard? So anyway, I digress. I wrote the blog about just trying to be real as I can during motherhood. And then I just went into just basically talking in a blog once about, as an ex-professional athlete, I'm now scared to go to the gym. Like, I'm really overweight after having my son, because I didn't work out through Hendrix at all. And I was just, talking about losing this weight and how do I do it as an ex-professional athlete. I should know what I'm doing. I should just go to the gym and boss it. But I just all of a sudden had this anxiety around the gym and other people and crowds and even just working out. It just wasn't enjoyable anymore. So I started something called workout parties, and it's when Instagram introduced the feature of lives. And I would tell mums right, let's put our babies to bed at 8 o'clock, 8:30, whatever it was. And I'm going to come on at 9 and we'll just do a couple of squats, a couple of jumping jacks, I put them through it was no more than a 15-minute workout. And while we're doing it, we're chatting, because obviously you've got the comments back and forth. And I'll be honest, there was about 3 to 4 people in every live. It wasn't packed, but for me, I don't care. I'm let's go.
It's a beautiful idea.
Yeah, so I just kept doing it, and then there'd be days where I'd schedule a live and be right tonight, and then I'd just be honest and be guys, it's not happening tonight. I've had a day from hell. I've drank Prosecco. I'm on the sofa. I couldn't think of anything worse than working out. And then obviously mums could relate to that, and I started doing these little workout parties. Obviously, as life happens, that kind of starting to fizzle out. I didn't do as many workout parties. I'd post little workout routines that I was doing from home, little home workouts to help moms, because that's another thing I think we as a society are well, you can only get in shape in a gym. you can only get strong in a gym. You can only do it in a gym, and that's BS. You can't. You can do it from home, body weight, with cans of beans, with water bottles, even little weights from, I don't know what you have over there, but like a decathlon here or a Argos or whatever.
Yeah.
Even Lidl and Aldi sell weights now. I bought a 12 kg kettlebell the other day, and I was buzzing from Lidl. Um, so yeah, I was just like, and it was only like £20. I was stunning. So yeah, I started to do all that, and then obviously through all that, the postnatal depression, I just wanted to help mums. I just thought I just want to help mums and mums like me, which then birthed Mumbod, which was just basically a place for everyone. It wasn't necessarily just for mums. It was just for all women of all body shapes, because I just feel like no woman in society is happy with their body, because society tells you too skinny. No, you're too big. No, you're too wide. No, your bum's too big. Oh, your boobs are too small. Oh, your boobs are too big. Oh, your boobs are just okay. They're not great, but they're okay. Oh, they're a bit saggy. Oh, do you get what I mean? Your thighs are you got a thigh gap. Ew. Oh, your thighs touch. Like, no woman is happy with their body. So I wanted to create Mumbod, and especially mums, like, oh, I've had a baby, I've got a Mumbod now. You'll never get your body back. You'll never, which again, isn't true. So I created Mumbod and trying to so I designed like a waist belt, which was more of not a waist trainer, because I'm not trying to train women's waists to be smaller at all. It was more of what can women put on there after having a baby and they want to go to the gym. I realized I had a lot of loose skin and I was really conscious of my belly. That was why I wasn't going to the gym. Like, it jiggles now more than it's ever done. So maybe if I could create this belt that was almost just support, so then when I'm going to the gym I'm running, oh, I'm not feeling a jiggle. I'm not now thinking of my belly. I'm just thinking of the workout. So I created the Mumbod belt. And then, yeah, then I created bands, resistant bands, and just different kind of merch, Mumbod merch. And then, like I said, COVID happened, and same thing again. I just thought, okay, we're all inside with our children going insane. We're all in lockdown. What could I do, little old me, to just help a little bit? So I was like, you know what, guys, we're going to do the workout parties again. Let's get back online and do them. And it went from 5 people in it to 10 people to 15 to 50 to 100 to 150 to, I think at one time I had like 200 people that are live at a time.
Wow.
Just working out with me daily. And I think I also just was trying to make the workouts, because there was a lot of other fitness creators doing the same thing at the time. And I've always found, I think this is also the athlete in me from like basketball. It's always been so regimented and so serious and so this. And I was like, right, how can I do it where it's just a bit of fun? So like, we'll do a band workout, but we'll be dancing and twerking a little bit, and it just creates a little bit of fun, because working out doesn't have to be like a drab. So yeah, we just started that in lockdown, and the followers that was coming and following and doing it, they coined themselves and named themselves my riders. They were like, we're riding with you, we're going to ride with you.
Oh, so they came up with that, or did you come up
I
with
didn't
that?
call them that. No, that wasn't me. I didn't call them that. They were like, because they were like, what are we going to call ourselves? We need like a name. And I was like, I'm not going to do that, because I find that weird. Like, I think I'm really cool. And I'm like, oh, you're going to be this. They were like, well, why don't we be called the Riders? And I was like, stunning, love it. So
I love it. It's great. I thought it was you. I thought it was you.
No,
I thought it was genius.
They came up with that. No, they came up with that. That has nothing to do with me. They came up with Snatched. I didn't come up with the name of Snatch By Lo. That was because I was like, it's a workout party, let's do it. And then they just kept saying, oh, I'm starting to feel snatched. I'm starting to look snatched. And I was like, oh, guys, is this what we're going to be called? Snatched.
And then a calling.
There we go. And then it was more at the time, I think, because I'm just not driven that way. I'm not like ever, I don't do things like that for financial gain. Mm-hmm. So a lot of other fitness creators were like going to subscription things, and and a lot of them are friends and they're absolutely smashing it. But at the time I was like, Ryan was like, come on, why aren't we going subscription? And I was just like, it's not time. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. And this was like, we'd been in lockdown now for like, I want to say almost 6 months. So it was like coming to my birthday in the May, and Ryan was like, babe, I think it's time. Like he'd had the website had been made for months. It was ready. Everything was ready. He was like, I just need you to pull the trigger. And I remember asking the riders, I was like, look, obviously there's so many of you and I could potentially do this as a job, as a career. Like, would you guys be willing? And they were like, why are you even asking? Get it now. Yeah. Subscribe.
amazing.
I'll subscribe. I'll do it. So I was like, oh. So on my birthday, God, it's almost 4 years ago now, we dropped the links and they were all coming in, and now we've got like, obviously it's gone up and down because of, and that's just how any business does go. But I've got like 250 like loyal riders, subscribers that subscribe and work out with me every day. Obviously all workouts are saved so they can catch up at any time. And
Amazing.
yeah, right now they all hate me because they wanted a challenge, so I'm doing a strength challenge, and I've just been so hard, and every workout they're like, you are insane, why are these, but they're all in the WhatsApp group like, you're insane, the workout was hell, but look at this before and after picture, look at my body, da, 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 da. And I think another really good thing I love about Snatched is it's not just shaped around like weight loss and how we have to be skinny, and I think it's really all around everybody's personal goal. So I have riders that are trying to gain weight. I have riders that are trying to gain muscle because they've been either in an accident or they've broke a bone or something's happened and they're trying to now gain that weight, that muscle strength back. I've got moms that have had babies. I've got moms that have had babies and the babies are 10 and they're like, listen, I've not been able to prioritize myself. What do I do? Again, I've got women in there that are trying to lose weight. I think everybody's, and that's what I love about it, everybody's goal is to them and what they want from it. It's not like, join Snatch By Lo, I can get you to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I can, but I can also help you gain 20 pounds. I can also help you gain this and gain body mass and gain, do you get what I mean? And
yeah.
So yeah, I think that
it sounds like you're catering for all the needs that are based on the experiences that you've been through, but also just putting like a sprinkle of hundreds and thousands on there and making it lighthearted. Sorry?
Yeah, I said trying to. I think, and I just think it's all women are amazing, and I will ride out at dawn for every single woman on this planet. And I just think we're all so unique, and so we all have our own journeys that we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to anybody else. That's what another thing I really push in Snatch By Lo. It's you versus you. So if you see me at the front not stopping, don't look and be like, oh my God, she doesn't stop. Well, no, I'm also an ex-professional athlete that's done this for years. Like you, and this isn't me shading it. Like, don't look at it as like, shit, like, why is she better than me? I'm not. I'm just, that was my journey that I've always been on. Like, and it's funny, when we first started Snatched, everybody hated a burpee. We couldn't even string 5 together. Now, we're doing burpee challenges where we'll finish a workout. We'll start at 6:30, and by the end of the workout at 7:30, we've done 500 burpees. And they're like, that was light, that was easy. And I'm like, this is what I'm saying. And this is from women that was like, I can't do that. I'll never be able to do it. And they're like, Lauren, I can do 500 burpees now. I'm like, yeah, because you're sick. So, yeah.
And anyone who is listening or wants to know more about Lauren, go to the Instagram page, because it is fun. For example, you shared it again, I think last week, but there was a video from a long time ago where you and your friends got out the car and you're doing all the singing and stuff. It's hilarious. Yeah, because it's off that guy from off YouTube. Like, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that alone just throws out authenticity. It throws out just being natural and normal, and you and your personality shine. And I think that's what we've kind of lost in the world. People always worrying about what people think and what other people feel, and no one's out there to hurt anybody. but we're catering for how they might react to it. And I think that's really hard. And I think that's why half the population are anxious nowadays, because we're so worried about what other people are thinking. I know I went through that. I've worried for a very long time of what other people thought. I now feel like I know my purpose and my journey, and I don't worry about it as much, but I had to work on myself, probably at a cellular level, right? To build those mechanisms in my body for not to react like that. But I mean, going off there slightly, but I love the flavor that it comes. So, but just going back to Mumbod, MOM, for those who
MUM, bod.
Oh, I thought it was MOM.
MUM, bod.
It was BOD though, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. What's the website? What is the website?
Mumbod.com.
.com. I thought it was .com. I just didn't want to get it wrong. That's all. So mumbod.com, mumbod.com. Just how you led your own way. I want to quote my own title there, but that moment, that spark, can you remember that moment of where you thought, I want to build this? Like what was that clicking moment? It was the contraption, the part that you had to put
it was just the anxiety around going to the gym, and obviously my body had changed.
But how did it click? It had to be a strap though, like not a strap. What do you call it, a strap?
I call it a belt. So it was more that I was, if I'm honest, I was looking on Amazon for ones, and then I just thought I could create something like this, that will encourage me to sweat, which is then it was helping. What do you call it? Like a double-edged sword. It was helping me both ways, kind of vibes. So it was like I'm confident because it's giving me support and it's holding that, like, my new loose belly and loose skin in, but it's also helping because it's helping me encourage sweat in that area, which will obviously help for me to lose weight in that area, because that was my personal journey and what I wanted to do. And you just always feel good after you've done a workout and you've had a little sweat. You think you've actually done something. So even if you walked on the treadmill for 5 minutes, but then you've got a little bit of a sweat on, you think, stunning. I've got a good workout in here. So I think it was just more that. I think it was just going to the gym and just feeling in this new body, in this mum bod that I was in, just feeling really uncomfortable and looking around the gym and seeing all these other women that are just confidently just smashing it and thinking, I need to get. And then again, I know I've said don't compare yourself to other women, and I wasn't comparing myself, but I was looking at them as inspiration. Like, I need to be able to get back in here and have that confidence that I used to have, like these women. So if anything, they kind of inspired me to be like, right, how can I get there? And then, like I said, I was looking for belts, and that's when I just thought, I could probably design one of these myself as well.
I think, like, if I was to go and create a belt now, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So what was the next stage after that? Where did you then go? Who did you contact? I think that's the problem. Most people struggle with this part now, what you're probably going to explain. They think of an idea, but they don't even know where to start. You've got the idea. Where did you start?
So I had the idea. So then I went to Ryan and was like, Ryan, what do we do?
Okay. So Ryan's the man. Okay.
I'll be honest. I went to Ryan and I said,
I'd have to go to Ryan.
This is my idea. What do I do? And Ryan is an ideas guy. So we were just searching on the internet. So then I ordered loads from Amazon, because don't get me wrong, it's not like innovated. I was the first person to think of this. There's hundreds on the market.
Okay.
I just wanted to design it to how I like it, how I would want it to fit on my body. So like I said, I ordered loads off Amazon, and I took like positives and negatives from things that I'd found on the internet. A lot of them rolled up. A lot of them was really long in the back. I didn't want it long in the back. They weren't long enough in the front, so they weren't really covering my belly, and not like, so, because I also had a C-section with Henny, and I think that was also a part of it, was just that confidence as well, because I have been cut in half, of how do I now move after having this surgery, which I'm not going to get on my soapbox about it, but until you have had a C-section, I personally don't think it's taken serious enough. I think it's really like, oh, we've cut through absolutely everything, even your uterus. Here's this baby, now go look after it.
Yeah.
It's major surgery. An ACL surgery isn't as intense as an abdomen. Like, you don't even get physio after it. It's like, go into the world. Yeah, work out after 3 months.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Because with the C-section as well, it's not even just that bit. It's the fact that the hormones, and again, I'm only going off what I read, but it's the hormones haven't released from the body in the way it would do if it was natural as well. So you have to deal with that side of things too, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm asking you.
It is. It is hard, and it wasn't until a friend recently has just had a C-section, and she was like, I can say her name. It was Georgia Jones. She had her baby like a year ago, and Georgia come up to me because she came back after 6 months. She had Harper 6 months ago, and then came back to basketball. We've both come, and I had Rain. I think Rain, he wasn't even 1 yet. No, he just turned 1. So Harper was 6 months, Rain was 1, and we're both now back playing basketball. She'd had a C-section. I'd had Rain vaginally, and. She said to me, how did you come back after 3 months of having Hendrix? Like, my body feels insane. I said, exactly. You all thought I was being a wimp, and you all thought I was being dramatic. But listen, she's like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you did that, because it's wild. But yeah. So anyway, that was a point of, in this belt, I wanted it to be a little bit lower, because a lot of the belts like cut off probably like an inch below your belly button, and I was like, I need it lower. I need it to like just almost just be sit like just above my scar to hold that. And any mum that's had a C-section, you get like a little like a little pouch, and I was like, how can I want to get that held in? So we just then start designing it, and then I'll be even more transparent. I wanted to do it with a manufacturer in England, and I just couldn't afford it. It's so expensive. So I spoke to manufacturers in China because it was just a lot cheaper, and started going through different designs, and they sent me loads of samples, and Ryan was getting stressed because I'm so picky. I was like, no, don't like it. No, don't like it. I wanted the inside to be, I wanted it to not irritate the body. So I wanted it neoprene, which then costed a little bit extra. And Ryan was like, this is going to cost us more. I was like, I don't care. So I wanted it to be just a bit, it to just be comfier on the body. I didn't want the Velcro to ever have to touch your body. I wanted it to come in, it to be long enough to fit someone that was an extra small to someone that's a 4XL, 5XL. I wanted it to trying to cater to everyone. Obviously, the bigger, more material, don't care, use it, whatever. And then, yeah, we just were going back and forth with manufacturers in China, and then
How long was that process, would you say?
Probably a good 6 months.
Wow.
Probably could have been shorter, but because I was so picky,
I don't think you were picky. I think you wanted the right thing for the right people, right?
Yeah.
And you wanted the best for the people based on your own experiences.
Yeah, and then we redesigned it. So we had our original sweat belt out, and then I redesigned it because I wanted like a zip, and I wanted it to be able to just pull you in, because I felt like then, okay, what is it for them mums now that you are more confident, you're a bit more confident in your belly, but now you just want to feel a bit tighter, a bit more snatched, a bit, and sweat a bit more, if I'm honest. So then we redesigned the sweat belt to the Sweat More belt. So like innovative. And
it's good.
And again, with that one, it came with a zip, and I wanted it a bit higher at the, I'm actually going to redesign it again, if I'm honest. I wanted it a bit higher at the back, because if you bum, it'll make it roll up.
Is it a redesign, or is it just offering another version?
Yeah, it's like offering a new one, but it was like, I'd say it's like kind of like a redesign of the first one, but like it's just a different version of the first one.
Can you still get the first one?
So you can still get the first one, and you can still get the new one. I am in the current process of not branding, but I just want to redo the website, redo things that we offer, just because Snatched, I want to kind of merge Snatched and Mumbod together. Now
Have like a brand umbrella.
Yeah, like an umbrella, just because we are selling workout stuff. So I have I did resistant bands that had Mumbod on, but I also did resistant bands that I've got Snatched on. So I want to and I did
belts. Does that become painful?
Huh?
Does that become painful to manage?
No. It's just then it's to what people. So some mums might want it to say Mumbod, and then if you're not a mum, they might want it to say Snatched. If you're a rider, I did a belt that also had, when you unwrapped it inside, it said it said rider in it. So then when you closed it, So it's just different things like that. So I'm just going through the process of, obviously I've had a baby and there's only one of me, but of just, I want to do that. I want to do sweat belts. I want to bring out like even just some workout gear, but I just want a woman to feel sexy. I feel like when you become a mum, you feel like you now can't be sexy anymore. And I feel like when a woman feels sexy, a woman feels confident. And you feel, and even if, and sexy didn't have to be like, oh, like boobs, like even today I'm wearing like this little zip up and some leggings. And Ryan even looked at me like this morning, was like, you look like you got your superhero costume on, like you look sexy. And I'm like, and I feel it. You know?
That
And I'm only
Ryan
doing the
knows
school
what
run.
to say, doesn't he?
No, do you know what I mean? And I think if women can feel in their power and feel like good in themselves, listen, as women, we've got enough going on already. We have to have periods every month. The least we can do is
I'm
feel
staying out
good.
of this conversation, Lauren.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hear you and listen, all right?
Yeah, I know, no. I'm just riding out for the women. So yeah, so then that's how we just went through all that process, and then we just ordered them in, and then I think I only ordered literally like 50 units because I thought not that many people are going to buy it, and I think we sold out in like 3 minutes, and I was like,
Wow.
oh.
50 in like 3 minutes? Serious?
Literally, like I bought 50 units, they went live, and I think I sold out in like 3 minutes.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you have to order them to your house and then you distribute
Yeah,
them?
like I do it all. Yeah. So I
Right.
order them, and then I do everything. I print off the labels. I even write little notes, and then I put them in, and then I send it. Yeah. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
And how's Mumbod going then right now? How's
So
it going?
Mumbod right now, I'd say, is more of on a pause. I've not really put, like I said, because I'm gonna rebrand and I want to merge Snatched and Mum, and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it because also Snatch by Lo is going to, right now it's just on Instagram. So if you're on Insta, you can access it, but if you're not, you can't access the workout. So I am in the process of creating an app and taking Snatch by Lo. It'll probably still work, if I'm honest, the same functions as of Instagram, where you go live, you join the live, you can comment on it, but then it'll just have a bit more features in the app. I was trying to do it, but I've become aware I am I'm only one person. So I am in the process of looking for like nutritionists that I can get to help me, not necessarily write a meal plan, because I'm a little bit against diets, because when I was in junior college, I got really obsessed with my weight and really obsessed with eating. And I wouldn't necessarily say I had an eating disorder, but I had a really unhealthy relationship with my weight and obsessed over it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really bad. I remember I came home and George's mum, who I was talking about before, Freedom, said something to my mum like, is Lauren okay? She doesn't look, and my mum was like, no, I'm really worried. And it was because I just was obsessing about my weight. Like I'd stand on the scales and it'd say like 162 pounds. And I was like, I have to be 160. And then I get to 160. I'm like, me, big 5'8" me, 5'9" me, sorry, at 160 pounds. That's insane. I'm about 200 pounds now and I'm in shape. Do you know what I mean? I looked insane. So I guess with Snatched, I don't want to force like a diet or like a meal plan. That's just my personal, but I want to basically team up with a nutritionist to give like maybe like healthy options, or instead of a croissant in the morning, like because I just think for some people, they just don't have the ideas. I think they just think porridge with a bit of banana on the top, but how else can I eat healthy and still make it fun and it not be boring? Because that's another thing with like healthy eating. I think we just think it's salads and porridge. And
Well, I'm glad you brought up food, because I was actually going to go there. What is your style? What do you eat? I mean, will you tell me what food do you eat?
For me personally, I try to, we don't really as a household eat unhealthy. Like we eat veg, we eat loads of protein in the house. We are quite a carb heavy household because the boys just love rice and pasta and stuff like that. So I think for me personally, if we do cook, I try to find alternatives for the carbs. I'll have a little bit, but I just won't have as much. But if for me, it's just more of I love bread.
Me
I love
too.
chocolate.
You
I
can,
love
you can make your
crisps.
own bread, right?
Yeah, I love fizzy drinks. So for me, I just try to limit those things. Because when I was training, when I was training for GB up to the Olympics, literally that's all I did. I just cut out like, I don't really eat McDonald's like that now, but you know, back when you're 21, I cut
Yeah.
out like McDonald's and fast food and
Mm.
bread and fizzy drinks, and it made such a difference because, like I said, I don't really necessarily at home eat bad. We eat really well.
Yeah.
Um,
So yours is
so
all
yeah,
cooked food then, pretty
cooked
much.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Ultra
just try.
processed food, packaged food. You
No,
tend
not
to avoid.
I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm throwing nuggets in for the kids. I'll be honest. I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mom.
yeah.
Nuggets
No, I'm
and
with you.
fries.
I'm with
And
you.
I might have a couple, but for the most part, I do try and cook.
You do need. I think
Yeah.
it. When I went through a very stressful period of my life up till a few years ago, hence why I changed my life, hence why I'm doing this. Again, that crisis point, not crisis, I was never rock bottom, but I noticed the two main things that I changed in my life was, apart from the certain things I would do differently in the morning and stuff like cold plunges and a bit of weight here, sit-ups every morning, that's a different side routine that I do, but two major things that I did was sleep. I looked at my sleep and food, and I got rid of sugar, and I got rid of I got rid of chocolate because I was eating here in Australia. You get bars of chocolate like that, like in England, but I'd be eating a block of those every night, and a massive packet of crisps every night, and I was obviously filling a hole, right? When you look at if we wanted to go about psychology today, we could probably go down that road. But I was trying to fill a hole. We won't. I'm open about it. Everybody knows I'm open about it. But I was probably filling a hole, which then resulted. I started to reflect on if I was present with my family, if I was present at work, and so on. Clearly, I wasn't, and I started to clear all that up slowly. And I just fell in love with my brain. I fell in love with how clear it became. Hence why I started to read all these brain books that you can see on the shelf behind me. So I start to fall in love with the brain even more, and how clear it can actually be. And I've never been more clear in my life. I could probably be a lot clearer, but it's the clearest I've ever been in my life. And I do really do. Now I lost 9 kilos in 3 weeks. And
Just
guess
by
what?
cutting out those,
No exercise. And no exercise because I had torn meniscus that I did in England when I was back there last year. I tore my meniscus playing basketball on bloody Wednesday night basketball. Shit. Mixed league basketball. Unbelievable. And so I wasn't running, and I lost weight. 9 kilos in 3 to 4 weeks. I could not believe it. I don't know if it was the cold plunges, because I know that helps you lose weight. And but I'm sure it was a mixture of everything. Getting rid of the sugar. Now, I know I can do it. Do I have a McDonald's once every other month? Yeah. Friday night, movie night. Do I throw chocolate down my mouth? Absolutely. I'm not saying, but I'm not saying that I've gone, that full on, get rid of everything, stick with it.
Yeah,
But
that's like me. Like, am I going to get a bottle of Prosecco tonight and probably drink it? Yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
But again, it's balance, isn't it? You're not doing it every night. You're not freaking out, and you're not going down that rabbit hole. And I just think, it's just, I fall in love with the feeling that I get. And over the summer holidays, I kind of lost that routine because I knew I didn't have to be up for work, and that shouldn't be the case. I could be up with my family, and obviously I'm off school, I'm on holidays, and I lost the routine. I would say I'm not even fully back in it now, and it's March, and we've been back 7 or 8 weeks back at work. I'm fully not there. I'm still doing my cold plunges, but I'm getting up at 5:30. No, I'm getting up at 6:30. I kind of want to get back to doing my own because I felt amazing, and I love that feeling. Anyway, kind of went off there then, but yeah, food is super important. And people say you have to live, but it's the other way around for me. Are you right? I do have to live. And how do I do that? Because I love the serotonin that is being released from the good foods that I'm eating. Not the cortisol that's sitting on my belly. That's going to turn into chronic stress. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, But yeah,
And it's so important. But I just try and say to my riders, like, also don't deprive yourself of like little joys, because as much as chocolate is and all that, but sometimes them things give you little bits of joy. And obviously for women, I know I'd said it jokingly earlier, but we do have periods every month, and you do have those hormonal imbalances, and you do these, like, literally, I think I read something the other day, it's literally like 9 days out of a 28-day cycle is when a woman is feeling normal. For all the other part, we're either PMSing or we're ovulating or and it's just, and it's funny because when we do 6-week challenges on Snatch, we can tell where everybody's at in, like, almost like the cycle. Because like last week I was like, guys, I am exhausted. But that was the week after my period. So now I'm like, I'm just so tired. I'm exhausted from it. But then now, it's the week we started on Monday, they're like, what has gotten into you? I'm like, come on, let's go. Because now.
Do you all cycle together? Do you? Is that?
So during COVID, crazily, we all did. We were all like,
Wow.
sort of got in sync with each other. I'd say now a few of us are and a few of us aren't. But yeah, we really did sync up during lockdown. It was wild.
There's science behind that, like if you're in an office full of women, you tend to go off the alpha female, and you end up meeting the cycle of the alpha male. That's how you can figure out who the alpha female is. And if you sit close to each other, it actually comes from you. It comes out your pores and it goes on to the next person. And that's like if you have a bunch of women in the house that you end up cycling. But if you can register who you followed, you can determine who the alpha female is in the clan. It's fascinating. I don't know the full science on it, but I did read about that and listen to a podcast on that also. I think that was on Diary of the CEO, Stephen Bartlett, an episode, and the lady talks about it. It's fascinating stuff. I won't go on about it because I don't know the 100%, and I don't want people to comment saying you're wrong, but I was just trying to quote somebody else. So yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's how you're leading your own way in the modern time, I suppose. You're empowering women, you're keeping fit. I feel like you understand your purpose. I'm not going to ask you that question yet because I'm going to save that till the end of the episode. Is there anything else that you feel like you could share about your present moment? Because you've always been a very confident person. Since the day I've met you, you've been this strong person. Sometimes probably a little bit intimidating in a really good way because you're so powerful, you're so strong, you're so outgoing. Nothing's ever come across to me that you fear anything or you get anxious about anything. But obviously I'm very wrong because you're being very vulnerable today. Before we move back to your childhood, because I obviously want the viewers to see how you've got to the point where you've got to. What is there anything you think we've missed from your present moment?
I think I would say, and this is, I've spoke about this online before. I think I am a confident person, and I'm confident. I'm loud. I'm whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But
I love you though.
I do also think though that I am also quite insecure in myself at times. And especially I'd probably say even more so now. And I don't know if that's because I've become a mom, my body's changed. I have grown a lot. I'm not the same, because I think a lot of my confidence and a lot what you were saying, like me being intimidated, was also sometimes a bit of a act, because I felt I had to be that way, because I was told I was this person. I was told, because I had a therapist, and she said to me, I was explaining to her, like, I've done a lot of growth. I feel like I was a really angry kid, and I felt like I was really angry I was angry in basketball. I was angry. And she was like, were you angry or were you passionate?
There's a fine line, isn't there?
Exactly. And I think a lot of, which made me start thinking about my basketball career, is I think I was really misunderstood by certain coaches growing up, because it was that anger was taken sometimes as passion. That passion was taken sometimes as they just think I'm just angry. I'm being a bit of a knob, like, and it wasn't. And I think as I've gotten older, and like I said, I've had therapy and I've got kids, I do think I'm probably more insecure than I've ever been, if I'm going to be honest. But then in the same breath, it's quite nice. I'm learning things about myself, and I'm having to, how can I preach online to women being confident in their bodies and then I'm not confident in my own? So it's kind of like I'm having to practice what I preach.
For sure.
But yeah.
I was thinking about that word intimidating. I mean, you're my friend. There's no way if you're intimidated, I probably wouldn't want to be around you. Maybe that's the wrong word. I probably.
No, but I've heard that before. You're not the first person that has said, "Oh, you're a bit," or "I thought you were really intimidating until I got to speak to you," or "I didn't think you were going to be like this until I got to know you," or you know what I mean. So
but I've known you before you got that confidence, though, as that sweet little 8-year-old. So that's the difference between you and I. Maybe everybody else saw that down the track, but I saw you as that sweet little 8-year-old girl sitting in the back of the car with me when we went to pick up a basketball net, right? So so intimidating probably was wrong for me. It's probably envy, because I felt misunderstood sometimes. I wasn't the biggest lad, but I was quick and I could jump. And I suppose when I went to play to Manchester, I was surrounded by a lot of confident people, and I don't feel my ability maybe came through because of that. I felt more at home in the other clubs because, Stockport and Manchester Giants, because their coaches kind of lifted me in the way they probably understood my personality, how I need to be nurtured and pushed at the same time. Whereas Manchester Magic, I felt like I didn't feel understood. Not saying yours was at Manchester Magic, but I didn't feel understood, and I just felt intimidated by everybody else there. But with you, it's envy, because you had that such confidence and drive, and that's where you got to where you got to because of that. And do you think that stemmed from playing basketball at such an early age?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was
playing
basketball.
At 8, 9?
I started playing when I was eight when I started playing at Reddish. And then, And I also do think a lot of my confidence was my parents. I'm an only child, so my parents really, they're not the type of parents that will like blow smoke up your ass, but they're very much so the kind of parents that will support you. If they believe you're good, they're gonna they're gonna support everything I do. Which from an early age I recognized that. So they kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm thinking, right, I must be good because my mum and dad wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't good. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's also what helped my confidence. And if I'm honest, I've just got 2 confident parents. My dad's really confident, and he's in a band and he's been doing that for so many years. And he will confidently say with his chest, he's one of the best drummers ever. And he absolutely is.
He's awesome.
He's amazing. And my mum has been working, she's coming up to 50 years in the NHS. And my mum has worked from the bottom with no qualifications. She never went to university. And now my mum is a senior, I don't even know, she's got so many titles, I don't even know what they are, but she's basically the head of telecoms over 5 hospitals. Like, she's making a serious wage for someone that's a 14-year-old girl that left school and just went to work at the hospital because all of her sisters did, and now look at where she is. I think that also helped, like having 2 parents that were just so confident and such bosses in like their own lanes. So growing up and seeing that, it was like, it's one of them things where you see like greatness, you like, I've got to be on par. I've got to be like my parents. Do you get what I mean?
I feel like I've got my next guest. We have to make a family unit. Everybody knows.
I know. I need to get my mum on.
Right, that's it, Jane. I'm calling Jane. Everyone knows Jane. We spoke about Jane. I actually did a snippet the other day of Jane and Don. But everyone who's watching today will have seen the episode with Don, and you'll have seen his personality, his character, and how his drive from growing up in Wythenshawe and all those places. And it was fantastic. It was a great chat. So, do you think your mum was did you play a role model? Is she a role model to you, would you say? And your dad?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. My mom is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. My mom is. My friends call my mum Jane Jenner, like Kris Jenner, the Kardashians, because you know how everyone says Kris Jenner can just sort everything out and fix everything. That is Jane.
Yeah.
Like, any got a problem, go to Jane. You need courtside tickets to a game, go to Jane. You need a TV, go and ask Jane. Like, my mum, like, people will come to me and go, do you know a gardener? And I'll be like, Mum? She's like, yeah, I know a gardener. Do you know an electrician? Mum knows. Like, do you know this? A plumber? Mum knows. Like, she's just, yeah. I'd say my mum is probably my biggest role model. For a lot of years, it was my dad, because I was very much so a daddy's girl. And I think growing up as a teenager, you almost have that, like, combativeness with your mum, like you're going head to head with her. And then becoming a mum.
You can relate.
Oh, I'm going to cry, but she's amazing. Honestly, my mum is, no. I'm
So
just
it's okay.
crying.
We've cried
so
on this
amazing.
podcast before, don't worry.
Yeah, she's honestly, she's my biggest role model. She's amazing.
She's beautiful, and your mum and dad have always been there for me. I always considered your dad my basketball dad. Yeah, I really did, honestly. And he never coached me. I was never lucky enough, apart from the camps, but I was never lucky enough to be on his team, because he always coached the age group below me, even though they were my friends.
Yeah.
But in England, it was the January cutoff, right? And so it wasn't the academic year. If it was the academic year, I would have played with my mates. But because I'm born in December, I missed the under-16s and I had to play with the big boys. So that's where I think my confidence did build me up. But then I went to Manchester and I'm playing with people who were a year or two older than me, and I was out of the sync. That's why where I think the age bracket kind of let me down, maybe. So going back to the childhood, then your mum and dad are obviously awesome, and you inspired, and how did they really push you to play basketball? How far do you think they pushed you?
They pushed me, like my dad. So when I started playing. So what happened is, when they came and coached at my school, they gave you like a flyer, and it said you got 4 free Saturday sessions, and on the 4th session they put you in a team. So I've had my 4 sessions now. They've put me in a team. So I remember I was put with all these other people, all these other it was all boys actually. I was not with any girls. I was put with all these boys, and then I remember saying, well, Dad, why don't you just coach? You just coach. And my dad was like, I've only played basketball in school. And we were like, but we're going to be there every Saturday anyway. And it was like all the other parents almost were looking at my dad as if to be like, will you be the one? Because all 3 other parents didn't have a clue. It was like Christine, Lou, and obviously now we know Christine is still flipping doing the scoreboard. She probably knows basketball better than us now. But at the time, it was like all these parents basically like, well, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. So my dad was like, fine, I'll coach. But my dad was like, if I'm going to coach you, I'm not coaching you like my daughter. I'm coaching you like a player on the team.
Wow.
And I was like, fine. And every single Saturday he probably made me cry. Partly because I'm an emotional 8-year-old girl and my dad was just hard on me. I mean, looking back as a parent, now I'm a parent, my parenting style compared to my parents is totally different.
Of course,
so I probably wouldn't, like, I can't even go and watch Hendrix play football because I'm like,
oh really?
I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I'm like, is he okay? Whereas Ryan's like, and I'm like, no. But yeah, I would say, yeah, he was really tough on me. My dad was really tough, but I thank him for being that way, because at 16 enabled me. I was one of the youngest people, not even youngest people in England to leave. A lot of people left to go to the States at 18. And I at 16 was like, I remember saying it to my mum and dad. I was in their bedroom and we were all getting ready to like go to Reddish. And I was like, no, it wasn't. Sorry, it was to Manor High at the time. I was playing at Trafford. And I remember saying, I want to go to America. I was 15. I was like, I want to go. After my GCSEs, I want to go. I don't want to go to college here. And my mum was a bit like, right. And my dad was like, for real? I was like, for real? I don't want to be here. I want to go. And my dad was like, well, let's make it happen. Let's go. Nice. And I think if he wasn't like that, I wouldn't have had the career and the life that I've had. Like, Even if you want to look at it as like, I'm with Ryan now. He played basketball, and I know him through the basketball world. I wouldn't be with the man I'm with and have the kids that I've got if it wasn't for that push and that. So yeah,
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. So you played at Manchester. Obviously, turned into from Trafford. For those who don't know where Trafford is in the world, it's Manchester in England. Yeah, that's all right. No, I have that perspective obviously because I'm here. So Trafford is in Manchester. It's a club that I also was a part of when I was young, and then kind of left, played for the Manchester Giants, and then went back to Manchester before. Because I got into coaching, didn't I? And then I quit coaching and to go back to play under 20s, which was, I think, a mistake. I probably should have stuck with my coaching career because I'd already taken 3 teams to the Final Fours as a coach, as assistant, and then was ahead. Should have just stuck with it. Anyway, that was my mistake. So then you're at Manchester. You go to a prep school in the States. Talk a little bit about where you went.
So it wasn't a prep school. I went to a private school.
Sorry, private school. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't a prep actually.
Because I was thinking that 2-year gap before college would have been.
Yeah, no. So it was just a private high school, Notre Dame Academy.
Notre Dame, that's right.
Yeah. So I eventually, with the help of Joe Forber and
Graham Williams?
Yeah, Graham, and then there was another coach from Liverpool. And my mind's just gone blank. But basically, he knew Teasley, my high school coach in America, and he was actually just recruiting women's players. He wasn't thinking, I'm going to recruit anyone from England. He was just in the process of recruiting. Henry Mooney, that's his name. I'm so glad it came to me. So Henry Mooney was like, well, I have a girl here. Because at the time when I was 16, because... And you know what? I'm going to toot my own horn because not every day be a humble crumble, Lauren.
No,
I was so good at I was so good at like 13, 14, 15, 16. Playing at my age group wasn't helping me. So I used to practice with the Manchester Magic boys team on a Thursday, just so I was playing with men. And then I actually played for the women's team. There was a women's team in Liverpool that I played for.
I forgot about that little
so I played
stint.
with Joe Leadham, Jennifer Leadham, Louise Barnes. We all played in Liverpool. So because and obviously this was at the time when I was talking about going to America. So Henry was like, I might have some contacts. And I was like, huh? So anyway, that conversation got started. He passed Teasley's number on to my parents. That conversation got going. Anyway, long story short, I ended up at 16 moving to, I lived in Washington DC, but I actually went to school in Virginia. So it was about an hour commute every day.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
We went to school.
Why that? Why did you do that? Why did you live so far away?
Just because that's where Teasley lived. Like where my school was. It was like, obviously it's a private school in Leesburg, Virginia, really nice school. And obviously we just lived in DC. We lived in Fredericksburg, Maryland. So
you got a scholarship though.
Got a scholarship. Well, it was. I didn't know this. Obviously, I only know now I'm older. But I didn't realize that my parents actually took out a loan because I was only on a part scholarship my first year. Yeah. I only know this when I got older and was like, you guys are amazing. I had a partial scholarship, and then my senior year is when I had a full scholarship. Obviously, they still had to pay. So I lived with my coach's mom, which back in the day was probably illegal, but hey, I've done it now. They can't sue me. The clearinghouse can't say nothing. I've done it now. I actually lived with my coach's mom. So obviously they were paying Mama T for me to stay in her house because I wasn't on a scholarship where anything was paid for.
Yeah.
But even that being said, that was, I've still got like Ebony now. She's I've just still got some of the best friends, and that's all from basketball. That school. Yep.
Wow.
Ebony is smashing it. She is a coach in America. She's got her own coaching business. Worked with a lot of the players that you see now in the March Madness. She's worked with them from Hagerstown, Maryland. She's absolutely smashing it. So shout out to her. You've got Azania Stewart. She played for the London Lions. She also had a really good professional career. She's now commentating, female commentator for Sky Sports, does all the BBL games, like just smashing it.
Your dad actually recommended her to appear on Low, just so you know.
Oh, really? Love that.
I asked him at the end who he thinks should appear as a guest on here, and he actually mentioned her name.
Would be a good one. I was going to say to you, Xenia or Georgia would be 2 really good people.
Well, if you think they should come on, you mention it to them, and let's get them on for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So
2 years. I'm guessing
Yeah.
was there, right? So did you
Junior and senior year.
junior and senior year, which is the third and fourth year of high school?
Yep.
Did you come home, or obviously you came home, but you didn't obviously stay in England. You might have come home for the summer. You then got a scholarship to go to, it wasn't.
So basically, I did all my visits. I went on, so you get 5 college visits. So, and I got I was really highly recruited from pretty much all top, like Big Ten, Big East, ACC schools. I had a lot of them, because they're like, oh, I wish I'd kept them. Had shoeboxes full of letters on letters on letters that I was sent to me. Yeah, every day
That'd
I'd
have
come
been
home
good to
to mum
show,
and tea.
actually.
I know. Do you know what it was? Because I lived in America trying to bring everything back. It
Yeah.
was just, but yeah, I went on my 5 visits. I went to Cincinnati, I went to Seton Hall, I went to Marquette University, I went to NC State, and I went to, I didn't take my 5th visit, actually. I didn't take my 5th. I just went to those 4. Fell in love with Marquette. Loved it, absolutely loved it. For those that are in the basketball world, that's where Dwayne Wade went to school, Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, Wesley Matthews.
Were they there at the same time as you?
Yeah, so I was at the same time as Wesley was in his senior year when I eventually got to Marquette. Me and Jimmy had this conversation the other day, actually. He called me on New Year's and
Jimmy
was
Butler
like,
called you this year?
Jimmy Butler, because he was with my friend Brittany.
No
He
way.
called because Jimmy was saying, I thought Jimmy was a freshman when I was a junior. But Jimmy was like, no, I was a sophomore, and we were having this back and forth argument. I was like, Jimmy, I don't know what you were, but we were at the school at the same time.
Did you
And
see him when he went
then-
to Manchester United?
I didn't, because I wasn't here. I was away on holiday.
Oh, because he met up. He had a photo with some of our friends, our joint
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
Callum and Jones. Callum Jones.
Yeah, so, and then Jay Crowder, my senior year, he was a freshman, I think. And then,
wow.
I think that's everyone that's in the NBA. And then when we had March Madness one time, not March Madness, when they did, before the season starts, you do like your Marquette Madness, we called it, at the beginning of the season. You have like all the fans come down and they meet the new women's players, and they surprised everyone and brought D Wade back. So I got to meet
That's cool.
Dwayne Wade. He's really lovely.
Whilst we're on the
There I am.
subject, there she is.
There she is. There she is. I can't go.
I know there's a bit of a
There she is.
reflection on that probably in the screen, but there's another one here of you in the
Oh
crowd.
yeah, Marquette.
Going
Yeah.
for it at
I
Marquette.
don't know who we playing there. Come and see. But yeah,
What year was that? Was that your freshman photo? Or?
that was my junior year. That was junior year pictures. Hell. I wish I just took things more serious. I just used to rock up like I'm here. But yeah.
Well, you know, if you've got Jimmy on the phone, you should let him get him to appear on here, mate.
Oh, listen, Jimmy is not that. Jimmy is a busy guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah, mid season trying to fight for the playoffs.
He wasn't even playing. I called him and I said, when he called, it was obviously New Year. They had a game the next day, and he's like, I don't play back-to-back games. And I was like, Jimmy Butler, you are something special. But yeah.
Come on, Jimmy, step it up, mate.
Oh, it was more his body or something. But yeah, I was like, fair. He played like 72 games in a season. And I think his next game, in his defense, wasn't against anyone great.
It's not like the old days, though, is it? When they used to play 82, Kobe would be having his fingers snatched back in,
fair.
on the sideline. Jordan would play with food poisoning. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Very true. They don't have to now, though.
No, well, it was the way they brought up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Times have changed.
Times have definitely changed. I saw that in a PE class the other day. These kids who want to play professional sport when they're older didn't want to do PE. I'm like, you guys are not going to make it. Anyway, it's unbelievable. Anyway, that's a different argument. I don't want to get myself into trouble on air, so I won't. So you joined Marquette. You're there for
So
4
it's
years.
junior college first.
Oh, junior college, right.
Because it's something called the clearinghouse, and the clearinghouse is, to put it in like layman's terms, it's basically the people that look at your grades and look at you. You have to do like an ACT or an SAT to get into college in America, and that whatever your score is combined with your grades is what, if you can get into that school. So basically I didn't have good enough grades, but it was only because everybody in high school gets their freshman to senior year grades with their ACT or SAT score. Because I'd come from England, they weren't taking any of my English, my GCSEs. They weren't taking any of those grades because in their head, I'd graduated at 16, even though I hadn't. They had only taken my junior and senior year of high school with my ACT and SAT score, which obviously combined them two would have never been enough because I'm missing 2 years of grades. So they were like, you've not got enough to get into Marquette. You're going to have to go to junior college. So you go to junior college and do your freshman and your sophomore year there to obviously get the grades to then you can go on to
catch up.
So I
didn't
tough? Want to do it. So yes, the summer before, absolutely yes. Didn't want to do it. Marquette had got me my Kirkwood Community College because they had a coach. They knew a coach from there, Kim Mule. They trusted him. They knew I'd be great in his hands. He was a great coach. I was against it. Did not want to go. I was fuming. I was so upset, so angry because I was like, I just want to get to
Marquette.
I just wanted to go to Marquette. I was so angry, so upset. Even when I shown up to the school, I got off the plane, Kim picked me up. I was just not interested. He took me to the school. I was just like, I can now honestly say those 2 years, Marquette was amazing, but those 2 years and that coach right there was probably the 2 years that molded me to be the person that I am today. He was an incredible coach, an incredible human being, an incredible man, an incredible husband. Just watching him in all of the aspects of his life, as he was amazing. As a coach, he was a great coach. The X's and O's, put it this way. My freshman year, we went 34-0 and won the national championship and got a ring. The second year, we lost our first game of the season. He got us off the bus at 5 a.m. We ran till 8 a.m. He then made us all go to class. He then made us come in at 4:30 to do a practice. We didn't do a practice. We watched film. And then we went on to go 34-1 and we won the national championship.
Wow.
But that second year, which I wouldn't have known because I couldn't see into the future, my sophomore year, I actually lost 2 of my really good friends. I lost Harris and I lost my friend Emma from high school. They both passed away. And I don't think I could have been around. I would have gotten through it. So Harris passed in the November.
Yeah, I remember.
Just as season was starting. Hell, he got me through that. And then it's March. We are in Arizona. You played like a Final Four over the span of the weekend. I'd played the Friday game. I'd played hell, called Emma. So she was my friend from high school in America from Notre Dame. One of my best friends called Emma. I was like, I played crap. I hated it. It was hell. Sorry, it was the Thursday I played. It was the Thursday. I played a hell. I hated it. She was like, get yourself together, sort yourself out. Like, you've got the semi-finals tomorrow, sort yourself out. Semi-finals happened on the Friday. They got sent out of school. They had an ice storm predicted to come. She didn't leave to go home. She went to the mall because she didn't listen. Anyway, while they were in the mall, an ice storm hit. I just called her in the mall. I played my semi-final. We'd won. We'll go into the final the next day. Called her. I was like, played so much better. We were about to go for dinner. She's like, I'm just at the mall with the girls. We got let out of school early today. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Smashed it today. Love you. Bye. I'm now at dinner. We're at the dinner. So this is the same day. I'm at the dinner and I get a call from who at the time was Azania's roommate. She'd moved out and had like a host family. I get a call off Haley. And I literally pick up the phone and she goes, Emma's gone. And I'm like, has gone where? She's like, she's gone. She's dead. So I went, what? Because she's a lot younger than me, Haley. She was only like a freshman, bless her. So I was like, what? So I hung the phone up instantly. Called Teasley. I called Teasley. Tried to call Emma, couldn't get through. Calling Azania, couldn't get through. Called Teasley. Teasley goes, don't listen to her. Everything's fine. Tamira's fine. Just play your game and I'll speak to you tomorrow. just don't worry about it, play your game.
Was she
So I'm like,
protecting you?
so I'm like, he was trying to. So I was like, what? Because what I didn't know is basically they got in a car accident. Emma, because of the ice, Emma passed instantly, and Tiara, who was his niece, who I'd lived with, grown up with in the house, she basically had a really, really bad head injury. So he was like, just play the game, you'll be fine. Obviously, in that time, he's called my coach. Obviously, then my coach is trying to rush to me because I'm at dinner with my roommate Kayla and like her family. So I'm like outside, like, what's going on? I'm like starting to spiral, like, what's going on? I'm trying to call everyone. Z calls me and I just knew she's crying. So I'm like, and you know me, I don't even cry instantly. I'm like, I've not registered this. What's going on? Anyway, Kim turns up at the dinner, my coach, and was like, let's go back to the hotel. I'm going to get Jazz and obviously leave my girl to have a dinner with her family. I'm going to get Jazz. I'm going to get my other two really close friends on the team, Courtney. We're going to go back to the hotel. So as I'm driving, I'm like, Kim, please just tell me what's happened. Just tell me what's happened. He was like, I just need you to just take a deep breath and then I'll tell you when we get back. He gets me. I'm now in a whole new hotel room. I walk in. There's Kit Kats on the bed. All like my favorite things. Bless him. He's gone out to like try and lighten this blow. I know. And he sits me down and he tells me what's happened. And he's like, this is what's happened. If you don't want to play tomorrow, you don't have to play. Like, my wife's on her way. You can stay here, whatever. Like, he was amazing all night. So anyway, naturally I was like, well, I'm going to play because I've spoke to Emma 2 days ago and she cussed me. And if I don't play, I'm spiraling thinking if I don't play, she's going to be fuming that I've not played. And if I do play, anyway, end up playing. We ended up winning. I had like a fucking amazing game. I smashed it, killed it. But I genuinely don't think I would have ever have gotten through that. Even after it, like how amazing he was as a coach. He's just an incredible human being. And I will forever sing him his praises and shout him out because he's just an incredible human. So yeah, so then after that, I ended up going to Marquette. And even going to Marquette, I remember we had a convo with my coaches about like, listen, this has been a really heavy year and she might have some moments in practice where she is not going to be okay. And you guys are going to have to just give her grace because she's not. It was like 2 friends in the space of like 6 months. Like, she's not going to be okay. So if she starts cussing and going insane, understand why. And
Did you?
to be fair, no, not really. I just kind of just went really in a shell and I just didn't really like, and it's funny because I think I am this loud, confident person. I think my coach thought like every time my teammates were going out drinking, I was the ringleader and I wasn't. I was the one picking Jimmy Butler up off a floor because he was hammered, or picking someone up, or being the mom in the room like, come on, throw up in my bathroom. Like, I was that person.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting there saying I was an angel. There was sometimes I went out and got a little litty, but you know.
Well, yeah, of course.
But that's college. So anyway, yeah, I ended up going to Marquette, and I think I had such a great experience there because I did go to junior college. I actually think junior college was, I mean, I became an All-American because I went there. I became a McDonald's All-American because I went there. And I, I've got 2 rings now and 2 national championships, which...
When you got to Marquette, did you miss junior college?
I didn't miss junior college because I was ready for the next step, but I did miss Kim. I did miss my coach because obviously now I'm with a female coach and it's just a completely different style and
Different dynamic,
totally different dynamic. And I think because he was such a great people person. He was like a psychology major or something. He was just such a great people person. I think that's what I missed the most. I missed that part of it because I just think, again, I went kind of back to a coach where I was a little bit misunderstood.
So I suppose then your junior college coach, he kind of brought, I suppose, the human side to leadership coaching, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, then you go to Marquette, where Marquette's obviously on a bigger scale, Marquette's pretty well known in terms of colleges around the world, especially when it comes to basketball. And you've then got this female coach who's probably got more the business side of coaching. Am I right, or am I wrong?
Yeah, like Terry was a really great coach. She's really, really, really good. I think, and I just think it's even just how I was maturing and not just me as a human. Like, I now really understand that I needed more of a human approach. I needed someone to understand me, and that's not everyone's coaching style. They come to coach X's and O's, boom, duh. Even Tom Mayer, the coach that coached me at GB, he dropped me from the Olympics, but probably as a people person, probably he didn't really like me and wasn't. But as a coach, he's probably one of the best coaches as well I've ever been coached by. He knows the game in and out. He's an amazing coach. But for me to get the best out of me as a player, I realized I needed that more human side and that more understand that I'm not just an X and O, I'm a human. And I think that's what definitely Kim gave me. And I think, like Terry was Terry, like I said, a great coach. She was just very X's and O's business. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine that. It'd be really, I mean, it's pretty clear, I think. But with them, the training sessions, how did they differ between the two colleges? Was it a shock to you, or were you just simply ready to nail it at Marquette?
I don't think it was a shock. I think because I'd had played for GB, where we do have 2-a-days that are 4 hours long. I think then going to Marquette, where I think if anything, it was like more the 5 a.m.s where you've got to be up at 5 a.m. and you got to be in the gym, or you got to be down at the beach, or we're running hill sprints at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I think that was a bit of a shock, but it was also, as an athlete I am, a creature of habit. I love being in a routine, so I kind of love that. And then you've got your practices that would start at ours would sometimes start like 2:30 or noon, and then we'd practice for 4 hours, and then you shower and go straight up to the owl and straight up to the bird's nest and just do all your homework and do all your papers and do everything that you had. And then you'd slowly walk home, get yourself some food, and then you'd go and watch your TV shows. And you're kind of like, you're not an athlete anymore. You're just a regular student, and you're just on campus living your life. So, yeah, I would say basketball-wise practice, I think because I'd had such great coaches leading up to like uni and even the GB experience, even though it was very up and down for me, I still had great coaches along the way. So I think I was prepared for what I had in store, or what they had in store.
Yeah, if you remember, I came to Marquette, had some pizza in your dorm in Milwaukee.
Yeah, you came to visit?
Yeah, I did, a little visit. I was staying out. I forgot where I was staying. It was only like 20 minutes away where the Surtees family lived, but little Carl brought me in, and I just remember you running around the corner. It was kind of really weird to see you in Milwaukee and me in Milwaukee. It's weird. Still find that weird. Still got the pictures of us hanging out that night. I should have gone and seen the court. You should have taken me to see the court.
I know. I never took you to the owl, did I? You just saw the because we did have 24-hour access. I should have just took you down. Don't even know why I didn't think of that. I think we just were more focused on that. Hi, here's my dorm room. Let's eat pizza.
And I met you in a bar one night. Was because I was actually there for your 21st. Like, do you remember? We went for a meal.
Yeah. Me and Nelly.
Yeah,
you met me and Janelle.
Okay, so your Marquette journey comes to an end. I've got some photos here of you, some beautiful photos of you playing for our wonderful country, Great Britain. I love that photo of you, to be fair. And here's another one.
Me Kobe's on.
Yeah, and the pinks.
I actually, after that pink shoes, I'd just tore my plantar fascia.
Oh, really?
And I'd been out for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I was supposed to be out for 8. Yeah, that was at the good old, well, it's not even called the Emmy anymore. It's called the AO Arena.
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that. I've been out of Manchester for so long.
Yeah, we're playing
look at that
Atlanta.
Crowd, Lauren. Look at that crowd.
And playing the Atlanta Hawks.
Was that who? What?
Not Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Dream. What am I talking
about? I was going to say. I knew it was probably. So it was a WNBA team, was it?
WNBA team. Yeah, they came over to play us.
Oh, wow. Playing for Great Britain, you mentioned it before, had your ups and downs. What were some of your downs?
Obviously, not making the Olympic team was probably my biggest down.
What year are we talking? Tell everybody what Olympic year this was for.
2012, so when the Olympics was in England, that was probably because that was like one of my biggest goals ever.
And it's in England as well, isn't it?
It was in England, yeah, and I'd worked my arse off and I'd done everything the coach had asked me. And that game was just before. That game was Olympic year, and I'd started in that game. I was playing well. And it was just literally your face didn't fit kind of thing. Because he took a player and she tore a knee. So he had a chance to switch her out, but just didn't want me there, which, you know what? I've healed. I've come to terms with it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my journey. I had other things to do. I'd say that was it. I'd also just say, like, I think because the basketball world is so small, especially in this country, that a lot of coaches had opinions of me that then they passed on to other coaches. And instead of other coaches just getting to know me and making their own opinion of me, they come with like a preconceived notion and then just think, if one coach thought I was a knob, then I definitely must be a knob. Do you get what I mean?
What notions do you think were passed along then?
I think it was I've had an attitude. I thought I was better than I was. I thought, and it was never any of those things, because even still now, I find it hard to say how good I was. Do you get what I mean? Or if I was good, or if was I ever good? Like,
Well,
I'm not
I'll
that
say
kind
it.
of.
You're probably the best female basketball player I'd ever have, and still to this day ever seen play basketball. No, I'm not saying it because you're my friend. Genuinely, absolutely,
Thanks.
genuinely. You used to come and play with us. I mean, not that I'm anybody, but you just kill all the guys, man. Seriously.
Thanks. Yeah, and I just think it was a bit of that and a bit of, for me, this is my opinion. I feel like because I was a strong woman, I do think some male coaches I had found that intimidating. So it was almost one of them, well, I'll teach you a lesson. I'm the boss. You know, that ego. Nah. Well, you think you're going to make this team? We'll see. Do you get what I mean? So I think that was, for me personally, in my journey and witnessing it, I think that was a portion of it. And I've done my healing. I've had therapy around it, and I'm not going to speak too in depth on it but a lot of the things that was said to me were not very nice. And I had some coaches that said some outrageous things to me when I was playing for GB. And even just down to little things like we were doing like, everyone was getting the jerseys, like a naming ceremony. And I got given my journey before a European tournament, and it had on the back Johnson. So I was like, oh, this isn't my name. Like, I think it's wrong. It needs to be changed. I was called a diva. I was called stuck up, all because I wanted it to say Thomas Johnson, which is my name. And I've got a double-barreled last name. I've not added on extras because I think I'm too nice. Like Donald and Jane on my birth certificate put Thomas Johnson. That is my name. And I was just saying, I'm going to play for my country and I'm not going to have my name. Oh, they can't do that. You're going to charge us extra money. Why can't you just be happy with what you've got? Like, I was made to seem like I was just being some dramatic knob. And it's like, I'm playing for my country and I just want my name on my jersey.
For sure.
For them to then later on send me a jersey after it with TJ on the back. And I'm like,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's just like little things like that is why I struggled at GB at times. And I think a big portion of it as well is I never came back. I didn't come back every summer, which I don't think went in my favour. A lot of players did. Like Z wouldn't do summer school, she'd come back. Joe would not do summer school, she'd come back. Whereas I was like, listen, I ain't the sharpest pencil, so I'm gonna need these extra 3 months to do some. I'm gonna need to do some credit, because if you did summer school throughout the season you could lighten your load, so you have to take 15 credits. So my logic was, if I can take at least 6 credits during the summer, during regular season I'm only taking like 3 classes now. I've not got a full schedule. I don't have 5
That's smart.
classes like other people did. It lightened my load,
Which
and I'm
allowed you
thinking,
to concentrate on the ones you were doing
let's
during
do
the year.
that. Let's get the hard ones out during the summer, because, and it's not even I'm not the sharpest pencil. School was just not my. I don't love school. I'm not into academia. Like, I'm not like, whoa, yes, school, exams, papers. Ugh, couldn't think of anything worse. So I'm like, let me get out of the way the things in the summer that I just know are not going to be my journey, and are going to be harder, especially during a basketball schedule. Like, I think people don't understand as well. There's times on the road, like we played Georgetown, Rutgers, and Villanova, all in the space of like 1 week. So we didn't go to school for a week. That doesn't mean we didn't do school. I had quizzes on the road. I had tests on the road.
Wow.
We all had to, like we had a guy called Tom Ford, his name was. Shout out to Tom. He got me through school. But he was our like academic advisor, and he would be like, Lauren, you've got a quiz in Spanish today. You need to come down to the to like the conference room at 2:00 from 2 to 3. You've got this test. And that would happen with all of us, all 12 of us. We'd all have, or like, Courtney, you've got this paper, you need to come down, sit with me. We're going to start going through your paper, or you're going to sit in so I can see you doing it or writing it up or whatever. So even though you're on the road, I think that's another thing that people see, especially college athletes, and think, oh, they just lived the life. Like, we had a private jet we had our own charter jet to flights, but sometimes on them flights, we're doing tests, we're doing quizzes, I'm writing a paper, I'm doing homework. And that's what I think a lot of people didn't. Obviously, you don't see that side of it. So, I think that went a little bit against me sometimes with GB, because I didn't come back every single summer, because I was like, I got to get these grades.
Yeah. I think it was smart, to be fair. And they should probably be honouring that, if I'm honest. You know?
Well.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for painting that picture, because none of us get to see, for those who love basketball and don't go to college in America, we don't get to see those little things. So to hear that from you is a massive, massive learning curve. But with GB then, I mean, I know you don't want to say too much regarding the scenarios per se, but you mentioned about going into therapy. Talk to us about the emotional side of it, though, like you personally. How did it affect you personally? I know you've healed. And I am asking you, as opposed to dive into the emotional side of it at that moment in time.
Yeah, I just feel like I just always felt with GB, I was just never good enough. Like, I'd had this basketball career, and I was good. And even my peers I was playing against, like, even, let's say Joe Leaden, one of the best women's basketball players, also to come out of England. Like, me and Joe would go head to head at times, and we'd give each other as good as we've got. Like, it's not like we'd play against each other and she'd annihilate me. Do you get what I mean? And vice versa. I wouldn't do the same to her. She'd D me out the game sometimes. And I think it was always like, when I was playing for GB, I just never felt anything I was ever doing was good enough. I always felt like I had to extra prove myself, and I had to extra show, like, even, I can say this because I won't name the coach, but even to a point where, like, I know I'm a good leader, and I know my team needed me as a leader, in the sense of just the person to get us out of a funk, that shitty mood sometimes. They needed me to be like, right, come on, let's go. I'm leading warm up. We're doing this. We're doing that. Like, and I know the team needed that on. And I even just stupid things, like, I used to have these alter egos. So I'd be like Eileen. So she was Irish. I had Gwyneth, who was Welsh. And sometimes, just to lift the mood, I'd come to practice as like one of them. Because you got to think, we're together for 3 months, or we're together for like 2 months, but it's intense. In the morning, in the evening, it's us. We're going to dinner. We have a meeting. We go back to the room. We're in the conference hall. We've got a team build. It's a lot. She's on a period. She's on a period. She's not on a period. She's due on a period. That's another thing that I don't think with women basketball we ever take into consideration either. She's breaking up with a boyfriend. She's got a girlfriend. Does she even know she's gay? She's not sure she's gay. She's not even told. Do you get what I mean? And that's another, and it's also true. Like, we're worried about that. We've got, and all these things. And there was just sometimes I'd walk in and I wouldn't be Lauren, I'd be Gwyneth, and it would just change the mood of the team. But at one, and it was almost like this one coach wanted to just prove a point. You'll never be a captain of any of my teams. You'll never be a leader. To the point where he made the team pick the leaders because he thought that they wouldn't pick me. And I ended up being a part of this leader group that he wanted. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, why have you done that? Because now we've got to see each other more. So it's just, I just felt like it was like some coaches was, and like I said, I've had therapy because I've had to look at it as, I am very much so, I will hold myself accountable. I'm not a person that's like, I did nothing wrong. Yeah, I probably definitely had an attitude and I was probably definitely a dick at times.
You were young though.
But as well,
On
I
a
was
stage.
also a 21-year-old
Yeah.
athlete with a lot of pressure on my back, and you're a 45, 50-year-old man that, like, give me a little bit of grace. And I just think that, yeah, I've been through it with therapy. Like, was it because I was a woman of color? Was I hit with a lot of those stereotypes? Because I am loud, I will speak up. If I don't think something's right, somebody else might not speak up, and it might not even have anything to do with me, but what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And because I'm being like, hang on, 1 minute, was that also a reason?
Yeah.
Ryan, sorry, everyone. Ryan, I'm still on it. Okay.
He's all right.
Sorry.
All right.
He's going to pick up his daughter in Birmingham. He's like, I've got a train to catch, so he's telling me I need to go soon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but yeah. So it was just, and like I said, I've been through therapy and worked through it all, and I think it was just that feeling of never feeling good enough, and just never feeling like I get my flowers, and never feeling like why do you hate me so bad? Like, why is that? And I'm over it now. I don't even care. If you hate me, hate me. If you like me, like me. Like,
Yeah,
it didn't.
Yeah,
I've made great friends, and GB was not always a terrible experience. I've had great experiences. I've traveled around the globe playing for GB. I've went to the Beijing Olympics and was an ambassador for that. Like I said, I've been coached by some amazing people. Even Tom, who dropped me, I will still speak really highly of him. He dropped me from the Olympic team, but as a coach, he's an amazing coach. Like, if I was ever a coach, there's plays I did with him that I would absolutely put into my team. So
amazing.
yeah, so I just think it was just a growing and learning part of, and I think athletes have it. Like, I was speaking to a girl that was playing football for Liverpool, and she was struggling, just a young girl who because I'm mentoring a school. And then I ended up speaking to her mom, and her mom was like, she just doesn't even want to play anymore. And I just I just genuinely think everybody at the national level, at professional level, have different experiences. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, really.
Well, it does seem like you're a good self-reflector, and I think it feels like you heal well, but going through the process to get to it, you seem quite logical is probably what I'm trying to say.
To be, and I try to also understand that I am human and I'm not perfect. So a lot of things is I have to look and be like, but is that a you problem, Lauren? Have you created that? Are you the issue? And then there's sometimes I think, no, that wasn't me. Like, you were an up, and I can say that and not have to say anything else. Do you get what I mean? But then there was times when I've stopped my own healing. I've been the problem. So
yeah.
But then I've given myself grace because I'm human.
You've been on one hell of a journey, and your life has been incredible with its ups and downs, of course. And but what a journey you've been on with your basketball. I mean, I don't even know what to say, really. It's just been an incredible journey for you, and it's led you to this beautiful family that you've got now, and your beautiful life. And now you are pretty much, are you working full time on your business, or is it there yet where you can fully survive?
No, so I'm not working. I'd say that I'm just trying to get, I think after lockdown and we're in a cost of living and everything that's happening, I would love for it to solely be my business and solely just putting everything into it. But I'm also a realist. Like, I've got bills to pay. I've got holidays I want to go on with my kids. So right now I am coaching and mentoring kids in schools. That's obviously like my job. And then I do Snatched as well. And then I just became I'm qualified in aesthetics. So I want to build that brand as well. Just trying to help women just feel great about themselves. Because I'm not a gay. If you want Botox, get Botox. If you want these things, whatever makes you feel great, do it. Is what I say. So yeah, I'm just trying to
That's the key, though, isn't it? For us just to feel great, right? To feel, the state of happiness. I've said it before. I consider the state of happiness of threefold. As one is enjoyment. So whatever you do is enjoy what you're doing. Satisfaction, that you're satisfied at because when you do something you enjoy, it has to end, right? So if it's basketball, let's say the game has to end at some point and you have to go home. Are you then satisfied? So if you feel, and that's just a small, tiny example, but you can translate that to anything, but enjoyment, satisfaction, and meaning. So your purpose. And that's probably a good way to end this episode. What would you say your purpose is, Lauren?
I think my purpose is to be authentically myself, so then I can show and maybe help that other person just know it's okay to be themselves. So I can then, like, I've helped them. And I always say, like, if I've helped one person, like even in my Snatched, I'll be working out and then a dog will run in and then a baby will work in. It's not about being aesthetic and it being perfect and I've got the right weights and they look perfect and they're all pretty and I'm in a great workout outfit. Sometimes I go in and I'm in my pajamas with a sports bra underneath because I'm like, guys, I only had enough time to put a bra on. Here I am. Because that's the reality of life. Like nothing is unicorns and fairies. So I think my purpose of life is to try and help women find their magic and for us all to help each other bring it out of each other. So I know I'm not at my full potential, my full magic, but I know there's a woman out there that's like, come here, let me get it out of you, let me help you. And that's a lot of that is my friends, but I do think it's also my riders and people online that I've met and created great friendships with as well.
Amazing. And if there's one thing that you think we probably missed off today, or maybe I was going to ask you, because I was actually going to ask you, if you could give any advice, but you've just done that already, so that was amazing. But if there's anything that we've missed from you today, what's the one thing you would share now that that we may have missed? We might not have missed anything, but if there's something that you felt like you've missed in the gap, what would it be to fill in that gap at any part of the episode?
I would probably say just to give you, if I was speaking to younger me, it would be to give myself a bit more grace and a bit more, like, you're just human. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. You're not going to make this team. Some of your biggest losses will be some of your biggest lessons. Yeah. And I think obviously I've had to learn that through therapy and learn that through like growth and
Did you seek that then?
Did I seek what? Perfection. Yeah, I think I did for a really long time. Yeah. And because I I had an idea of perfection in my head. I still do it now. I have an idea of what I want Christmas Day to look like. And if it doesn't go like that, it's a failure. Well, no, it's not. It's a great day. You got your kids.
The difference is now, though, you're conscious of it, right?
Yes. And now I understand that there's actually no such thing as perfection and that I just give myself a bit of grace. And there's even just day to day, there's days where I will smash motherhood and there'll be other days where motherhood smashes me. But I'm still a great mum in both scenarios. Doesn't make me, and it's still the same as basketball. The games, I've had really great games and I've not had great games. Am I still a good basketball player? Yeah, absolutely. So I just think it's just giving yourself grace and understanding that strive for perfection is just a little bit ridiculous. It's great to want that and to want to be so great, but it's also ridiculous because it's just.
But look, at the same time, in your very younger part of your life, you may not have got to all these beautiful spots you went to in the world, right? You travelled the world, you played professional basketball in Europe.
And that's why I'm very much so a person that's like, do I have some regrets? Yeah, everyone does. Everyone can say they've got a regret because, again, we're not perfect. But would I change anything? Nah.
No, I wouldn't change anything from your past experiences. Just to fill in the gaps as well, though, after Marquette, you and around GB, and before now back playing at Manchester because you're part of the Manchester Giants female team, which is in the
BBL.
BBL. I was going to say MBL then because that's what it's known as here, but BBL.
Yeah. I thought you were. That sounds like BBL.
I paused for a second. But you played in Iceland. Did you play in
Iceland, Gran Canaria, Switzerland, and Turkey?
Turkey. I knew it was Turkey. I thought I was right with Turkey. Yeah. So you played many years in Europe as well before you settled down back in England. What age were you when you settled back in our hometown?
So I came home at like 24, met Ryan at 25. He impregnated me at 28.
And Ryan played for Manchester Magic and also... Did he play for the Giants ever?
He played for the Birmingham Bullets. That's how we met. He was playing for the Manchester Giants, and then that's when me and him met. He was playing for the BBL team,
Nice. Because I came home one summer and he was playing in the final at in Bellevue, and I was a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lauren, for joining us on Leading Our Own Way, because you've created such. I know you've created such a safe space, not only in your professional life by what you're doing on a daily basis with Mumbod and with Snatch By Lo, but appearing on here, you've created a safe space by you being vulnerable, and you've probably maybe you've not opened up more today because you're just so authentic and so genuine anyway to the people that you do, people who you see online. I assume you open up to your friends and you're this person outside of here as well. But I'm hoping leading our own way, we're reaching a lot of people where they can, you're a normal person, but with big dreams, big desires and big aspirations, and you went and got it. You led your own way from the help of your parents from such a young age, and you've continued that drive, and you're doing all these little small businesses / big businesses because of your drive, and you've I do think that's part of your passion, your purpose is to, like you said before, help people through your own experiences, through your own darknesses and anxieties, and I think that's where I can try, be alongside you on that, because that's what I'm hoping Leading Our Own Way podcast will do for many people, just to hear normal people sharing their vulnerable stories. So thank you for being open and genuine.
Thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate it. I think we'll just have to get your mum on to fill in the gap.
Oh, we'll have to have the Thomas Johnson trifecta.
Yes, I love it. And your parents are coming here to Melbourne as well.
Yes, they are in December.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have them over. I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
Lauren, thank you so much once again, and
thank you.
Please take care, and we will speak very, very, very soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Say bye to everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.